most sought-after coloratura sopranos, she has stepped into the international spotlight in recent years with a string of critically acclaimed appearances in the great opera houses of the world, including the Metropolitan Opera, Vienna State Opera, La Scala, Royal Opera House, Blindborn, Santa Fe, Los Angeles, among many others. I could go on all day about Erin, but for the sake of time, let's hand things over to her. Please join me in welcoming Erin Morley.
Carina DiGianfilippo, and I will sing Vieni, tardar from Mozart's Le Nozze di Figaro.
between registers, right? I don't feel a lot of Susanna's, sometimes you feel a huge break when they try to get that low A, right? That was very easy, that all is very seamless. I think, and also what I like about your performance was that we can see, you're not overacting this, right? We can see already that you are playing with Figaro's feelings, right? That you told us with your eyes, you told us like it was not overdone. I really appreciate that. And however, it also felt sincere at the same time because that's what's happening, right? Will you tell us in your own words, set up the scene for us in your own words?
Sure, there's a lot going on.
Very late in the opera.
Very late in the opera, in the fourth act, middle to end of the fourth act of the opera. I am pretending to be the Countess, and Figaro, my fiance, is watching. He doesn't know. I know he's there. I know he's there. And he thinks that I'm being unfaithful, but I'm not because he doesn't entirely understand the setup.
And you have concocted this plot in order to punish him a little bit. Yeah. So exactly. That's good enough. So I want to work a little bit technically today. Are you open to that?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's so much fantastic about what you're already doing that I want it to be more sparkly.
Amazing.
I want the sound to spark a little bit more, and I want you to feel a deeper connection to your breath, and I want to see if we can find, we're gonna work on consonants a little bit. Okay.
Sure.
All right, so that's the game plan. Do you mind coming over to this wall back here? This is the only spot I can see in this room. Or you can try this. And do you mind taking off your shoes? And I'll do it with you. Solidarity. All right. So we're gonna try just the rest of it. I'm stockings on. This is not the best situation, but you're okay. So let's do giunta fine momento. And let's just get yourself to a place where you're almost 45 degrees here, right? Or lower if you can. Okay? And feel all of your back against this wall as much as you can. All right? And I just want to get a sense of connection to your core here. The reason this works, right, is because you can't keep this position without really engaging this, which is part of your core, right? These muscles are core. It's connected to this, it's connected to your breath, it's connected, right? If this is not strong, then the entire mechanism is not strong. Okay. So how are your knees feeling?
Good.
This is fine on your knees?
Yeah.
Okay. Just be careful not to go too low.
Okay.
Just be comfortable with it. Okay. All right. So giunta fine momento. That's really fantastic. Okay, so what do you feel? What do you feel?
A little bit lower than I was probably doing in terms of where I'm moving into.
And what I hear is that you're not shying away from the consonants, especially the voiced ones, where we can really sing through, right? Okay, so giunta al fine momento, right? All of that was much more connected.
Good.
Okay, let's go to the aria, vieni, tardar. And let's do this position. You can sing this entire aria like this, but I want to just touch a couple moments. connected to the bit about consonants that I was saying before, right? That D has to be on the pitch, right? Don't scoop up from below. Come down from above. Right on the pitch. Same with the V, same with the N, same with the T, R, D, R, all of it, right? Super, super higher than something. Yep. At the wall was really gorgeous. Okay, so let's continue with that work. Right on the first phrase. Right, you're fixing this very quickly. Very attentive to this. Okay, that's very quick. What does that change for you? What does that do to the voice? So to the vocal
It's
mechanism?
freer. I think I was probably a little careful because it's so smooth, but I feel like it gives a little bit more freedom.
Because
to
of
the
the
voice.
legato, you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah.
That you were
Maybe
being
a little too
delicate?
careful. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean that's an interesting point about the psychology of legato. The thing that is so scary about this aria is that it's so exposed. And of course, Mozart is all like this. There's very little happening in the orchestra. This is why people say Mozart is the best singing teacher. And because you can't really hide anywhere, right? And we have, rightly so, treated Mozart very, very carefully. It's all come scritto, right? We pay attention to all the markings and we treat it all like gospel truth, right? And rightly so. But that means that there's nowhere to hide, right? And if you present an aria like this in an audition, they will be looking for, how do I feel about this singer getting through the entire role of Susanna? Because this is at the end, right? And Susanna is a role about stamina. And they will be looking for style. Do you understand the style of Mozart? And do you have the language skills to pull off all of the conversation in this role, in this character, right? So you have all of this going for you, which is a fantastic thing. I'd love to. Have you done the whole role?
I have, but
Okay.
in English.
Okay.
I'd love to do it in Italian.
So you know about the stamina bit.
I do. It is a tour de force.
Right, yeah, right. So it'd be very, very cool to Fantastic. So, let's go to, how much time do I have?
5 minutes.
5 minutes? Okay, so let's go to, finché l'aria è ancora bruna. Let's go to that bit. Thank you. Finché l'aria è ancora Tace is a little brighter.
Okay.
So I don't want to see too much opening. Tace is not necessary.
Okay.
You will overexert.
Okay.
Okay, and it goes too dark. Tace, sparkly, shiny, high, forward. Yeah. That's it. Yes, that's different.
Okay.
That's different. That will tax you much less.
Perfect.
Okay. So that space you just found, the whole phrase. Finché l'aria è ancora bruna. All of that in
Okay.
that same space. Now, don't lose the grounding. At the same time, so we're talking about opposite directions. We have to deal with a lot of the, if anyone's studied ballet, there's a lot of opposites in ballet, holding this in and holding this in, right? We're doing this. So my conception of singing technique really is that you are strong like a tree trunk. And this is like downward motion, right? And there are roots, the tree has roots that keep it stable. And the voice is like the branches that are sort of weightless. The sound that comes out and the flowers that blossom off of the branches, right? So it's like this firmly rooted grounding and then the beautiful thing that comes out the top. That's how I think of this, okay? All right, so sparkly space, firmly rooted breath, grounded, okay? Same phrase. That's really good. It's a subtle difference, but that's the thing that's going to get her through this entire role. Yes. Okay, good. Do you want to do one more phrase?
Yeah.
Just to lock it in.
Next phrase.
Qui mormor.
Yeah.
Qui mormor il voce So when I'm doing this, right, what is this for? When I was at the Metropolitan Opera, I worked a lot with John Fisher. He talks a lot about the wheel. And if you've ever worked with John Fisher, hi Sandy. you know about this. So he talks about the wheel and how it's our job to kind of like not stop that wheel in its tracks, right? And I kind of think of it more as like it's a ship. We're on it already, and our job, we can't stop that ship. It's just going. And so, and especially something like this, which is like, in 6/8, right? Dun, 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 right? So if you slow this down,
Sure.
again, the stamina issue, but also the language won't sparkle.
Okay.
The story, the words, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, let's go to Vieni, Benito. space this way. It's that inner smile, right? Not pulling down.
Sure.
Right? Because then this gets involved.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Except tongue pull. That's the last element. Right? Don't pull the tongue back in order to get there. Try one more time. Yes, that's nice and sparkly and balanced, right? That's the sound. Okay, so what do you do with all this information? Right? Take it to your teacher. Talk about these things. See what feels good. Try it all on for size. Try the wall stuff. Try doing the entire aria at the wall. Yeah, I would love to hear you sing the entire roll someday because yeah. Yeah, bravo.
Hello everyone, my name is Robert Kleinertz, and today I will be singing una furtiva lagrima from Donizetti's L'Elisir d'Amore.
I guess we will.
Yeah.
A few back here.
Una furtiva lagrima. Can you say it with me?
Una furtiva lagrima.
Good. That's a really great connection, consonant to vowel. Let's do it a little slower.
Una furtiva lagrima.
Yes, yes. And then negli occhi suoi spunto.
Negli occhi suoi spunto.
Right. Do you know what I'm trying to get at? What I'm trying to accomplish with it?
Trying to get the same space in all of them.
No, but
Okay.
that might tangentially happen. That's great too. What I'm trying to do is to not get you to stop at the consonant. Negli occhi suoi spunto. It has to continue through the consonants. A lot of the work that you do at this stage in your training is figuring out how to do that, how to sing through consonants. Right? That's kind of the difference between student and professional. How do you you might have a great sound, right? But if you cannot, if that sound stops at the consonant, then we feel dissatisfied somehow. We feel cheated because we want that line to continue. So don't stop that line.
Okay.
Okay? Let's try it singing now. Una furtiva lagrima.
Una furtiva lagrima.
Good. Now, don't be afraid of that T.
Okay.
Ooh, now consonants are there to help you, not to get in your way, right? You just have to know where to put them. So the T goes exactly in the same spot as that R. Furti, which is
Furti.
forward.
Yeah.
Forward. Furtiva lagrima. And that's the great thing about Italian. All of those consonants can be nice and forward in the same spot. Use the R's too. They're so delicious, and they'll
Yeah.
keep that moving for you. Okay, one more time.
Una furtiva lagrima.
Yes, yes.
Negli occhi suoi spunto.
Beautiful. Keep going.
Quale festose
Good,
Yeah.
fantastic. Just the quelle. Don't shy away from that double L. I want to know when. I want to hear how that's helping your voice, right? Because all of that can be used. Don't be afraid of these consonants. They're there to help you. Quelle, right? Just try one word for me.
Quale.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes, I want that every time.
Yeah.
Okay? Quelle festose giovani.
Quelle festose giovani invidiar sembro.
Fantastic. Now, do you feel a difference in the connection of the breath?
Yeah.
It's forcing you to work harder, right? I mean, in the right ways, right? Not working here, but working here.
Yeah, it's like here and here.
Okay, good. So these have been a little lazy, maybe. Yeah, good. That's a good thing to verbalize.
Yeah.
Good.
I've been working on it.
That's great. Can we do this phrase again? It's quelle festose giovani. Keep it piano or mezzo piano,
Yeah.
right? Because it is technically still piano. In the piano family.
Quelle festose giovani invidiar sembro.
Good, good. I see you are 2 minutes, yeah.
Oh.
That's harder work.
Yeah.
Right. The harder, generally speaking, the more we work in the core, the less we force this to work. And that is a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is also late in the roll,
Yes.
right? This is the end of the opera. The most famous moment is at the end of the opera.
It always is.
Often, right? Yeah. And so you have to be fresh. You have to sing a whole roll like this. Yeah? Okay. Un solo istante palpiti, just to lock it in.
Mhm.
Okay? Just to do that the next verse.
Un solo istante i palpiti.
Fantastic, except the N and the S, those have to be a little bit more in harmony with each other.
Mhm.
Something stops there and then a solo.
Mm.
Don't stop. Un solo istante i palpiti.
Yeah.
One more time. immediately on the end of that solo.
Yeah.
Right? Bump, 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 right? So you set the new tempo, right? Brandon, can you give us a couple of measures before that? Or where are you starting?
Sure, I can start 4 before she comes.
That would be awesome.
Sure.
Thanks. Brendan, sorry. Did I say Brendan?
Yeah.
So fun. Right? So it's that clarinet solo is the impetus.
Okay.
That's the beginning of the new section, not the end of the old section.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah? So, yep. Try one more time. Okay, good. Let's do that much. Good. Okay. So I need you to feel in your body a sense of that pulse
Okay.
right away. Okay? And I need to feel the scherzando too, right? It's somehow lighter,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Chunk, cha-chunk, chunk, chunk. And I kind of need it to be more organized in your mind, because then it will translate, right?
Okay.
So organize this in your mind. Boom. Smith Pagliazzo, Prinzessin, right? And what are you singing about?
So she's putting on a show. It's a show and a show, and she's putting on a show. But in this very section, she is naming off different. She's not using their names, but men in her life. She's using character names
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
On the show, and about I can have this one or both. Or I can do whatever I want.
Right.
And this is her. I can do whatever I want section.
These are
of the aria.
media names,
Yes.
right? These are stock character names.
Yes.
Right? Because this show within the show, at this point, Ariadne has usually left the stage, and it is really no longer about her, and it is really something they've rehearsed a million times. This is perhaps the act that they perform, Servinetta and her 4 boys perform all the time. But she's also trying to make a point, which is opposite of what Ariadne has been saying,
Yes.
right? And what is that point? What do you think that's about?
I think it changes as this goes on, as it gets longer and longer. I think she's almost making up new things. But I think here it is, there's not just one person for everyone.
Mhm.
Where Ariana so believes that there's like her soul made that's so beautiful. And
Yeah.
this is the absolute opposite.
Yeah, and I think she's saying, your way, you think you're so noble, but actually, we're all the same.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, good.
Okay.
Good enough for now. Let's go back to this pulse.
Yeah.
Everything's in 6/8.
Everything's in 6/8. What's going on, guys? We got the wheel turning all day long. Good. Okay.
Just 2 bars?
2 bars. So far, es mit ein. Yeah. So we have. You need var, 1, 2. Es mit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overthought it because I was like,
That's okay.
you want to go
I'm
right?
gonna help you. Okay. So 2 bars. So far, es mit with real people in her life, I need you to have people in mind. I need you to have some story
Okay.
for each of these guys.
Okay.
I don't care what it is.
Yeah, they have to be different.
But have it organized in your mind. Who was Pagliazzo for you? Who was Burattino? Who was Cavicchio? Who was Pasquariello?
Okay. And let it come out. That's the hardest part about this thing,
Right.
is to make it, it's like a show and not a show, and what you
Yeah.
characterize the character is you, and then
But because she's
Woo!
done this so many times,
she's just gonna,
it's no longer really.
it's not that.
I think for her, this gets realer and more real the longer she performs this gag. I think for her it becomes, like, I'm singing about my life. I'm singing
Okay.
about my life.
That's really helpful. I had always kind
Yeah.
of thought that peaked earlier, and then she kind of fell off of it.
I mean, you can make a case for either way.
I like this.
Yeah.
This is
I think
great.
it's just gonna help you.
Yes.
Okay. So here's the thing about all of this coloratura. What I'm trying to do for you is people say, oh, what's the trick to coloratura? What's the easy fix to singing coloratura? Like I would say, I mean, that's hard to sum up, but if I had to choose one thing to say about coloratura, it is that you have to convince us that there is no other way to express what you are feeling. That is the trick to coloratura. Make us believe that you are inventing this and composing it as it's happening. That there's no other way that I could have possibly expressed how I feel about Pagliazzo, except with these 16th notes in this particular fashion. And Cavicchio and Pasquariello was slightly different. And this is the bubbling up of this feeling, and this was different, and right?
Okay. Yes.
And there's so many notes on this page.
Yes.
These 3 pages here. These 3 pages are insane.
Yes.
So if they are not really firmly rooted in sincere emotion, then it feels like notes rather than organized and expressive.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Make us believe that Pagliazzo and Mezzotin and Cavicchio were different. I mean, maybe that guy wasn't so good, and he was really exciting at first, and then I didn't need it anymore. And then tell us the story.
Okay.
Just make choices. Yeah.
So war es mit Pagliazzo, mit Mezzotin, dann war es Cavicchio, dann Burattino, dann Pasquariello. Ach, und so weilen will es mir scheinen, waren es 2.
Yes. Already, that's so much easier.
Yeah.
That's easier.
Yes.
You're working less.
Yes.
Your mind is working more, I think.
Yes.
But this is not working quite so hard.
Yeah.
And it's more organized for us.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna go on. Okay, we're gonna go on for a second. We're gonna go on to, actually, let's skip to
You still have 4 minutes, so not 5.
4 minutes? Oh, okay. I'm gonna use those 4 minutes. Let's go to the cadenza.
Okay.
This.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you start here?
Yes.
We're gonna do that B flat ga.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. And here, okay, so what is this text? Das ein Herz sogar sich selber nicht versteht.
So this is for me, it's my colloquial version of this is that nothing makes sense with the heart, and that it's exciting that nothing makes sense. That's what I'm trying to bring to this.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. I can't understand. A heart doesn't understand itself.
Yes.
Right? Ariana thinks she has everything figured out. Right? But as soon as I feel like I'm in love with someone, things change, and then I need something else. And
Yeah.
he leaves me or whatever, and I don't understand myself even.
But she seems to like that. So it's like that nothing makes
Yeah.
sense, but that's great.
Right.
Or at least okay. And that's kind of what I was trying.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all of this coloratura, what is this all about? What is it?
I feel like it's the ups and the downs of that. And I
Yeah.
do feel like in this right here where she keeps going back to that A, it's trying to, it's kind of, that is kind of the, from where everything comes, it's like baseline. So she's like going back, when I'm really exuberant now.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what this page is.
Right. I don't understand myself. 1 minute my heart is in this B flat scale.
Yeah.
And then another minute my heart is up to a high D. And then, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Good. Okay. So I'm gonna stop you when we get to the cadenza, but start at that B flat. Gott sieht's nicht versteht. Different?
be singing Ich stand in dunklen Träumen, which is an art song by Clara Schumann from her Opus 13, Sechs Lieder. Seeing someone that you've lost in a dream and being reminded of their pain and sadness and how it's reflected in your own pain and sadness. At least that's how I picture it.
Yes, very German.
Oh yeah. Capital R, romantic leader.
Yeah. Very Heine. And this, I mean, this theme pops up in so much of German lieder. The pain of love, right? That Schmerz and Liebe are very closely connected. And this, I think the first three songs of this cycle, or two or three of them, were, I think, among the very first songs that she ever wrote. So Clara wrote these as a Christmas gift to Robert, who was always encouraging her to compose, and she didn't have so much confidence about it, and I think needed a lot of encouragement, and was always apologizing for her songs, and they're so beautiful, right? And this one, I think, actually exists in two different versions. I think she, right?
Yes. There's another one. Yeah.
There's another one.
Slightly
I think
different, a lot
it's
of-
been recorded.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So, and it's kind of interesting to hear the very subtle changes, the way she first wrote it. This is the second version. So I don't know if we can find a manuscript, but I'm sure you could. It would be very interesting to see, the evolution of her choices here. apart during their first year of marriage, and that's what inspired her to choose this poem. I mean, it's conjecture, but I think that could be where this is coming from. This is sort of the diespiltness of Lieder. It's the same idea where in the dream he sees a portrait of his loved one, but except it's the opposite of diespiltness, because this is on the other side of it. This has so much regret, right? And diespiltness has so much hope. So, we've done a lot of repertoire today that is quite exposed, and this is no exception. And that's partly why we teach Lieder to students, and it's partly why we always go back to Lieder. I always go back to Lieder when I'm trying to zero back in on my technique. When I want to detox, I pull out a Schumann song. Right? Totally. And that's vocally and kind of emotionally too. This is another one of those German Lieder that are, the beauty in it is its simplicity. So I would encourage you to not give it too much angst. Not over angst it. Like it's in the poetry and it is there, but I feel we're getting away from the simplicity of it. A tad bit. Can we try it one more time?
I'll give you a bar.
Sure.
Ich stand in dunklen Träumen und starrte ihr Bildnis an, und das geliebte Antlitz heilig zu leben ihre Lippen zog sich dein Lächeln wunderbar, und wie von Venus Tränen erglänzte ihr Augenpaar. Auf meine Tränen flossen mir vor den Augen herab, und ach, ich kann's nicht glauben, dass ich dich verloren hab.
Okay, I will submit to you that perhaps. So how did that feel?
Interesting. I feel like, I recently lost a friend, and I've been trying really hard to not toe over the line thinking about them during this, because I can't believe I lost you is the last line of the poem.
Yeah.
So, I felt like I was serving the music more than myself in that, which is good.
In this latest
Yes.
iteration. First of all, I'm so sorry for your loss. Secondly, what an interesting observation that when we allow ourselves to go all the way emotionally, it takes away some tools in our toolbox. Yeah, and I mean, not only is it what you said was so interesting, that it was selfless. This second one was less for you and
Yeah.
more
It was more for him.
exactly. So that is so perceptive. you know, this is an opera that you know, it's so fully overtakes your emotions. And you can sort of choose to sing or cry, and you can't do and there's a certain this is the painful lesson that I had to learn, that if I was indulgent in the emotions that you want to feel, then the audience didn't feel them.
Yeah.
When you choose the less, you know, less satisfying version of this to you, it helps us to feel it.
Yeah, I think I've definitely struggled with, you know, balancing the ego and just reminding myself that this isn't for me.
Yeah.
Even though it's very satisfying as a singer, you know, I sing so well and it's great. But it's about the sharing of the story and about what that can mean to the audience, not just to me.
Right. So beautiful. I want to suggest that this is not that important. I
Really?
I honestly
Okay.
I feel like nobody's giving you a medal.
She wrote a slur, no breath.
She wrote a slur. She wrote a slur, but there's also a period.
Yeah, I know. My teacher was like, you can do it. Do the, like, get there and then breathe if you want. And I just like, my ego was like, yeah. Sing the praise.
I think this one, yes.
Yes.
I think
Okay.
und ach, breathe.
Mhm.
I think this one is about connecting the line in your mind. I think that's what this is, because
Cool.
otherwise this
This is
just
hard.
does not make any sense.
Yeah, I know if I was singing with at the end of that
Right?
phrase, yeah.
And you don't want to like sing this super fast in order to
No,
get to that
no.
note either.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I would think of this as a mental slur.
Great. I love that.
Yeah. Okay, good. Now I want to try one more thing.
Sure.
I'm going to be right in front of this video camera, but I want to try. Sorry. Try and keep your gaze on me the whole time.
Sure.
Try the whole song like this. And I want you to sing it directly to me, as if I'm the only person in this room. And just try not to look away from me. Be bold and brave in that choice.
Ich stand in dunklen Träumen und starrte in Wildnis an, und das geliebte Antlitz freudig zu leben
in any case, I want your eyes up because I want to see. There's so much emotion in your eyes, and I want everyone to have access to that. That's super powerful. Thank you. Whew. Bravo.
Thank you.
Everyone, good afternoon. My name is Bingchuan Wan. Today I will be singing Nessun dorma from Brendon by Puccini.
Now it's something different.
Nessun dorma, nessun dorma. Tu pure, o principessa, nella tua fredda stanza, guardi le stelle che tremano d'amore e di speranza. Poi la mia mistero è chiusa in me, il nome mio nessun saprà, no, no, sulla tua bocca guarirò, quando la luce ed il mio bacio scioglierà il silenzio che ti fa mia. Di legua notte tramontate stelle, all'alba vincerò,
Bravo for sitting that long and standing up and delivering that. That's not easy. And you were certainly not, we have so much variety on this program. And I love that you brought this aria. It's very ambitious and great in your voice. What's your history with this aria? Have you sung it a long time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this story, you know, the Turandot of the Peking princess,
Yes.
and he had hatred emotion for the foreign person because he insists had been humiliated by the foreign person. So if someone want to marry with her, he needed to answer 3 different riddles, and failure will die. And for the caliph, it means and it's a mysterious prince, and he falls in love with Turandot at first sight, and then trying to answer these three difficult riddles. Even the minister want to stop with him, but he correctly answers these three questions, and but at this moment, Turandot refused to marry with him. So I'm here, so I offer a deal. If Turandot can learn the name of me, and or I will die, or Turandot needed to marry with me. That's all.
Fantastic. Great job. Thank you for setting the stage for us. Okay, obviously, most famous aria of all time. We all know it. I want to do some work with this that will obviously you won't perform it this way, but I want to just swing your arms a bit.
Okay.
Let's try singing and walking. And just swing the arms. In the sound, right? Did you hear it?
Yes.
Feel it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Now the next step. Okay. tua bocca. When we get to there, that was the moment when I felt it was hardest for you to keep moving with your body. Okay? So I want to try, do you know this motion of figure eights? I want to just try this. Okay? So stand in one spot. Yeah. And let's go from my mio mistero chiuso in me. As you like. Let's just do two phrases. Let's do two phrases like this. Okay? Now add to that a little motion in your knees. Your knees should bend just a bit, yes. So there's a drop, weight.
Maybe help to release
Yes.
the tension.
Exactly,
Okay.
yes. So my mio mistero, let's try that. Good. Now I won't make you sing the high notes a million times. I don't want to make you sing this, in how many times in a row. But I want to try one more thing. How do you feel when is this a good motion? Is this
Yeah.
good on your shoulders?
Yeah, sometimes I feel that it's a deep tension over my shoulder.
Yeah. Can we do one arm and then the other arm? Let's try it this way. This way. 1, 2, 1, 2, yes. Okay, let's try this, the same exact phrase. Now, practice that at home.
Okay.
Do any kind of movement, like interpretive dance, right? Anything to keep your body moving. Don't let yourself stand and sing this aria until you get to performance, right? But when you practice it, always give yourself something to do. Okay, now for the final now the bocca. E la tua bocca. I want your tongue to be full.
Okay.
Bocca. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, let's just try. Can we do it right there? Sulla tua bocca. Okay, good. Now, try one more thing. This motion. Yeah. It can be slight, but so your chin is level with the floor,
Okay.
right? My mio mistero è chiuso in me. This is working, this is not.
Okay.
This is energy, no energy. Yeah? Good. My mio mistero. Okay? So. So chin up a bit. So look at the people, right? Chin up, and just a light. Yes, good. is moving. Yes? Good. Good, good,
Repeat.
good. Yes, repeat, please.
Meine Liebe sera chiusa in me.
Yes, yes, yes. It's prayer. Already, it's prayer. Okay, try it one more time. Next phrase. And now you're gonna go from here to here. Okay?
In ave viole sul soprano, no, suonato.
Good, 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 good.
Okay.
It's hard.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really difficult.
Yeah, for tenor, every day is hard.
Yeah. Oh, it is. This is the work, okay? Because this is the work that will take you from this level to this level. It's totally different. This work of the release. So, what kind of exercise do you do? Do you walk? Do you run? Do you bike?
Wrong.
Run? You like running?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you run right before you sing?
Actually not.
You don't like to do that.
I just sometimes spend a few half an hour to run at my home.
Okay.
Not just before singing.
Not just before singing. Okay. Have you ever done yoga? Try it.
Okay.
Try it. Okay, try it. I think actually this could be amazing. Because the voice is amazing. The voice is amazing, right? But I want you to go to the next level with this, right? If you release that sound, it's just gonna go bring, sparkle, sparkle. Ooh, thank you for being
Thank
willing
you.
to
Hello, my name is Jessica Jacobs, and I'll be singing Embroidery Aria from Peter Grimes by Benjamin Britten.
I was
England, and Peter Grimes is a fisherman, and he has a tendency for his apprentices to go missing or dead. So his first apprentice was found dead, and he went to court, and it's ruled an accident. So then Ellen, who's my character, the schoolmistress in town, she really likes Peter, and he wants to marry her. She tries to get him a new apprentice, and again it goes awry, and she finds this embroidered shirt of this apprentice on the shoreline, and that's when she sings this aria, which also comes at the end of towards the end of the opera, like many that we heard today. So, and she's at this point, she's been trying to save Peter and to show the town that he's a worthwhile person, and at this point she's with a retired captain, Baustra, and I think she's just, I tried to save him, and I don't think that it's going to work out.
She's a fixer, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
she's a widow.
Yeah.
It's not the easiest.
I think she is a symbol for compassion in this opera. She's been, trying to hold reserve judgment. When she finds this sweater, is it proof of, what does it really mean?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not necessarily proof, but it's like, why would he go missing with the shirt? Or how would you find, it's just.
And what actually happens to this boy? Because we do know.
We do know. Peter, they're in like a bar in town, and then he like leaves with the boy, and he's kind of angry at the moment, and they're leaving to go fishing, and the boy ends up falling off a cliff. It's not like he didn't push him or anything, the boy just trips and falls. So we do know that.
We know he's certainly been rough with
yes,
his apprentices.
There's been
and he's been maybe taking them out to sea at times that weren't advisable. He's certainly not treated them super well.
Correct.
We know that.
Yes.
So it doesn't kill him, right?
No.
So this is Ellen doesn't know what happened.
But it's going to be hard to prove.
It's going to be
the town
impossible.
It's
Because
like
these
just-
townsfolk are out for blood, right? They're really eager to punish him for all the feelings they have. Okay. I wonder if we can perform this in such a way that there's so many pianissimos and there's so many pianissimos in this, and I mean we have a high point from the aria, and the rest, I mean, it really has an arc like this, but it is pianissimo until this like 2-measure crescendo, and then 2 measures later back to pianissimo. So I wonder if we can reflect that arc in, I wonder if that high point is her realization, it's the one moment where she lets herself kind of lose it, and the rest of it, maybe we reserve judgment.
Okay.
Don't get too sad too soon with it. I think the last page can be, obviously this, right? We have now my broidery affords a clue. Now my broidery affords ... She can't even finish the sentence. Now my broidery affords a clue whose meaning we avoid. Try the whole thing one more time with that arc in mind.
Okay.
That we don't really, I need the first pianissimo to be very different from the last pianissimo.
Okay. Yeah.
That explosion of, I just wanted to help this man. He can't be helped. I can't save this boy, can't We haven't come to the conclusion yet. She's saying words, but she doesn't feel it yet.
Yeah.
Right, good.
Okay,
Okay,
we're
and
talking
then
about-
let's go to My Hand Remembered.
Okay.
My hand remembered its old skin. The stitches tell a curious tale. I remember I was brooding on the fantasies of children.
So, just in the interest of time, I'm going to observe that your voice is really streamlined in the piano, in the pianissimo.
Okay.
When you practice anything, practice it piano.
Okay.
Somehow that connects you to your breath.
Yeah.
And that evens out your
Yeah.
sound.
Okay.
It's
Cool.
really pure and it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful spin.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Now let's go. Let's go into On the Fantasies of Children and Dreamt That Only.
Okay.
Turn on and drum.
Just Andrew.
And dreamt that only my wishes I could bring some silk into the
that free?
Thank you all for coming today. I hope you'll join us tomorrow at 7 for